Alrighty, I believe everything's set up. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Demon Souls livestream. It has been a little while since I last recorded for this video series, and it is obviously the 20th part of the recording, which is it's the next step up in terms of, well, not even in terms of digits. It's not like we're going into triple digits from double digits or anything like that. But it is the next lot of 10, so I don't know, fun things. I'm not sure what sort of relevance that may hold, but anyway. I will have a look and see when I was last streaming. It was more than a month ago. Let's actually get the date of that. Actually, I won't get the date of that. I accidentally clicked it. I didn't mean to click it. And also my laptop sound is on, so let's mute that like now. Okay, I'm just doing this to double check the date. I was intending on right-clicking to open into new tab, and then I accidentally left-clicked instead. It was the 18th of February 2019. Well, how about that? It's just a bit over one full month at this point, so... Anyway, what I'm going to be doing in this video is trying to manage my playback a little bit better. And when I say playback, I should be more specific and instead say my chats. One problem that I've been having lately is going back and forth between the YouTube and Twitch chat by going from tab to tab. Now that's a problem because not only do I have to cognitively decide, hey, I need to go and switch the tabs so I can check the other chat, but it's also a matter of me finding the time to do that while playing the frickin' game. Now, I found that to be really difficult while I was playing Wind Waker just a few days ago when I was live streaming that, so I would definitely like to mitigate that problem, or at the very least make things a little bit more easier for me. So I'm doing a little bit of window management here so that I can see both chats at the same time, which is something a little bit new for me because I generally don't have different windows for things that I have open in Chrome. Instead, I use a crap load of tabs, so it's going to be something a little bit different to what I'm used to, and I'm just going to get that set up right now while I'm here. And it seems that YouTube doesn't get as much activity when it comes to Demon Souls, but that's whatever. At least I'll be able to test it out and see how it looks. So, if I can try and get this working, I tried to get it working before, and it turned out that it worked better in theory than in practice, I think, because I thought that I was going to be able to completely control the area of the page that was going to appear in the small window that I would create, but it doesn't really work out too well in that way. Actually, you know what, that's perfectly fine. I've just set it up so that it is indeed pretty damn perfect, so we'll just do it that way. If I could, I'm not even going to look at, maybe I will look at my view account, so I'm going to just edit the window a little bit so that I can see pretty much the lower part of the, there we go, that's alright. I'm pretty down for that. That looks good. Alrighty, so I'm pretty much ready to go with my playback, we'll call it, but it's more to do with the chat rather than the playback because I've sort of gotten past the point where I feel like I need to monitor the stream to make sure that it's looking good. If I really need to, then I can do that on OBS. I mean, that gives me enough information, to be honest, so it should be alright. At this point, it's mainly just looking at the chats. Now, to give you an update in terms of what we have done off camera, what I have done off camera rather, I say we to be inclusive of you guys when I'm speaking within the context of recording something. But if I'm doing something off camera, it is most certainly not inclusive of you, so therefore I should instead be saying what I did, not what we did. Anyway, what I did off camera was pretty much what I said that I was going to do from this point forward, and that is taking care of the crystal lizards in World 2.2 by myself, and not forcing you guys to sit through that crap repeatedly. Because the thing is, I need to kill them all, come back, kill them all, come back, kill them all, and it's just really, really repetitive, I think, in terms of entertainment content. So I try to keep that, or from this point forward, I will be trying to keep that out of the recordings as we go forward. So what I want to do now is actually get a few more materials, because I haven't actually gotten all of the materials that I need to upgrade my falchion to +8. I did manage to get it to +7, and for reference, it was at +5 when we had finished the previous part. So we've leveled it up twice, and we can feasibly level it up one more time, I think. From memory, we need like 4 or 5 large... No, is that right? Yeah, we need like 4 or 5 large sharpstone shards, not shardstone. So we need like 5 of those, 5 of the, or maybe 8 or so of the regular sharpstone, and we need like 1 chunk of sharpstone. So to be honest, I think we will be able to get that pretty easily from World 1.3 when we can actually access that, keeping in mind that we do not have access to that place yet, because we haven't actually killed a archdemon yet, or an archdemon if I could possibly speak English correctly. So that is going to be today's objective. See how I have fresh spice here? Why do you have fresh spice, Doomlink? I thought you weren't going to be using magic. Well, the reason why I have fresh spice is because I'm preparing to cheese the flame lurker. Now, I could cheese the flame lurker with a weapon, which would be the falchion, because my falchion here is actually doing a decent amount of damage. It's doing 171, which needless to say is a lot better than 97. But, yeah, we're not going to make use of it, for the simple reason that I'm probably going to make use of that falchion during the old hero confrontation. Now, I have made it quite clear that I'm not so interested in making use of a non-piercing weapon style of combat. So pretty much what I'm going to be doing is, once again, sticking to the piercing style of combat with the rapier, save for some boss confrontations. The old hero, I can assure you, is not a boss confrontation that you are going to want to watch with me using a rapier, slowly piercing him to death. It's probably going to take like 15 minutes, it's going to be phenomenally boring, and you're going to love me for pulling out the falchion to kill him instead. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. In terms of the Flame Lurker boss, I could use the falchion for that as well, but I'm reasoning it in my head by saying, well, if I'm going to use the falchion for the old hero, I'll instead abstain from using the falchion against the Flame Lurker, and I'll just cheese him with magic instead. So how about we do that? I've got 2 things that I'm going to do, and that's it. The rest is going to be piercing combat, probably. I'm not going to make a promise when it comes to that, but yeah, so we've got magic and falchion usage. No, sorry, it's not the falchion, it's the scimitar. I'm sorry. You know, I always get confused between the falchion and the scimitar. What can I do? Okay, so as you can see, we do have reduced health here. I did die off camera once, God forbid. So we have taken down the world tendency by 1 level for the Stonefang Tunnel, but it's still looking pretty alright, as you can see, which is perfectly a-okay to me. Because I'm not going to need any pure white world tendency events or anything like that, so it's pretty good. Because, you know, oftentimes I do die when I need those tendency events, so I'm glad to not need them now. Hopefully I do have enough, I guess, magic recovery items here. I do have, I think it's 5 fresh spice, is that right? And 2 old spice, yes, that is correct. So that should be plenty. The old spice is a little bit overkill when we have such a small magic bar, but hey, it's something that I had in my inventory to start with, so that's pretty alright to me. Cheesing the Flame Lurker is something that I will continue to do for as long as I feel like. I did promise you guys that I would fight the Flame Lurker legitimately once on camera, but that time is not going to be now, because I'm not happy with my current damage output, so I'm going to cheese him, if you understand. I'm going to save the one time I'm going to do his fight legitimately on camera for when I have a little bit of a better set going. So that's pretty much going to be the plan. Alrighty. And then we've got the rockworms appearing, which isn't a problem. Going to heal up. And for the simple reason that I'm not going to have problems killing this guy, I'm not going to waste a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes for this confrontation, because I'm just going to revive after the confrontation anyway. So that's pretty much the plan. Let's go pick... speaking of Stones of Ephemeral Eyes, there's one right here. I do apologise again for those of you who can't read Japanese and are bothered by the fact that you can't read anything on the screen. It's for my own personal entertainment, so I suppose I'm a little bit selfish in that way. Anyway, come on Flame Lurker. I will be taking off the Thief's Ring, I think, because it does make a difference to the fight. Yeah, see, look at that. We want a responsive Flame Lurker, not a retarded one who can't really see us, if we're going to do this. So I kind of wanted to, well, fine. I wanted to be able to target him before we did this, because you can't really target him when this thing's in the way. You can see that we're doing a decent amount of damage with magic at the moment. It's stacking to create a chained damage number here, which is currently at 744, 868, or 8, was it 868? I think it was. Sometimes he just gets out of the ideal position there, so you just need to readjust. This is what happens when you're not targeting him. You get the stupid stuff in the background in the way. Hello. Switching sides. He got a little bit sick of that side, I guess. What can I say? Just going to heal up a little bit and continue. But yeah, it feels good to be playing Demon's Souls again. I guess I needed a little bit of a break. I did like, what was it, 19 live streams within the space of 3 or 4 weeks or something in the same game, which is not my idea of fun. You know, just playing the exact same game over and over and over again endlessly. I don't mind it for a short period of time, but endlessly is not my thing, so I needed a little bit of a break after that. And now that I've had that break, I'm ready to continue. And an update for those who are not familiar with the idea of the Windmill Rapier build and are tuning in live. Basically, it's a long explanation, but it involves the large sword of searching being used in the left hand as a parrying weapon, and it sort of spins around like a windmill because it's so big. It's treated as a light weapon despite its large size. So it spins around like this, but like imagine you have this huge sword spinning like that. It's like a windmill. So basically it's like a parry riposta build, which is going to be making use of the large sword of searching as a parrying weapon. There's no benefit to using it as a parrying weapon apart from its appearance. Aesthetics is the only aspect to... well, the only reason as to why I'm using it. It's not like pulling out the parrying dagger from Dark Souls. This is not good at all, actually. That was really fucking dangerous because I couldn't see anything. It was really not ideal. As you can see, even when you're cheesing the Flame Lurker, things can get a little bit dangerous. Can you not, mate? I'm going to magic you to death. Who needs the target system? Really? Anyway, that is the Flame Lurker dead. And we're going to make use of these souls to buy shards of Sharpstone, I think. So what I'm going to do, and this is a little bit dangerous, is I'm going to keep these souls on my person, take on the Archdemon, and then I should have a lot of souls to play with at that point. And I'm going to sort of work out what I want to do with those souls as I look at my upgrade requirements, and I will then buy shards as necessary at that point. But anyway, I think we're ready to go. I have to say, Twitch is being very bizarre with its viewer counts right now. I don't know if I should even trust it. Oh, no. I tried to roll through that, didn't work out quite so well. I hate it when he does that opening punch. I think it has to do with not having the Thief's Ring on. So I'm going to bloody put that on right now. Bothers me a lot. So I think if I swap my equipment out here, this technically constitutes using the Scimitar for the fight, I understand, but I think it's a necessity at this point. I'm not using a rapier to do that. But yeah, my viewer counts are really bizarre. I had 9 viewers and that immediately dropped instantly to 3, and then it's climbing again. I don't know what's going on with that. I would say that there's some sort of issue with the... I knew that was going to happen, and somehow that didn't freaking kill me, so that's really good. I'm happy about that. Maybe I have a lot of vitality in this build. I haven't actually paid attention to that. 17, I guess that's a decent amount for this point in the game, so obviously that was a good thing that I invested that vitality in. Alrighty. I would like a beverage today, but I think I'm going to abstain for various reasons. Now, although I could have some water, I do like water, so I might go and fill up a glass with water after this fight though. Oh god. That's right, he doesn't really attack on this side, except, that's right, I think in my previous attempt at fighting the Flame Lurker, I had that theory. I thought, well, if you're on the side where he's been pierced by the big harpoon thing, he's not really going to attack you. And that theory was proven to be complete bullshit in my last attempt, because I got hit, and I think I even got killed under that assumption, and it wasn't very nice. I wasn't happy at all at that point. So, yeah. I haven't recorded as much this week, I guess. It's currently Thursday, and the only other recording that I've done this week, technically, has been my Wind Waker recording. I did upload a part for the Phantom Hourglass Let's Play, but no one gives a shit about that Let's Play, so we won't really count that as an upload. I will continue to upload that Let's Play, of course. I mean, that's my fucking 10th anniversary Let's Play. The fact that no one really cares about it isn't my... It doesn't matter, because it's important to me, so I'll continue to upload it. But anyway. When it comes to my Let's Plays, I like to hope that they will be watched in the future, when they're older. And have the views just pile up over time. But I'm a little bit worried that the YouTube algorithm, as it continues along its path to destroying content creation, I'm worried that that's going to make that more or less impossible. But anyway, thanks YouTube. Well, that is the... what's he... That's right, the Dragon God. I was about to say, what's he called? And it's like, well, I should know by now. If I could use my brain, that would be phenomenal. Anyway, some pure Dragonstone. And that's basically saying that I think we can now access World 1-3. I think that's what it's saying. It doesn't actually say World 1-3. That's sort of a colloquial term to use. The actual correct term would be, we can now access the Archstone of the Tower Knight, which is a little bit long-winded, so World 1-3 is always a good way to refer to it. But, yeah, so at this point, we have 56,000 souls. You can't actually see my soul counter because I'm in the way. And it kind of bothers me that it's slightly visible next to me. I'd like to sort of shift so that it's less visible. Because if you can't... I've mentioned this in the past. If you can't actually see the souls, I'd rather have the soul counter be completely invisible. Because if you can't see it, then it's fine. But if you can see a little bit of it, then it makes you think, I want to see that. I want to see the whole thing. So I'd like to not be in the way of it. If it's... Hold on. I can try it. Like, if I sit back, let's... Damn it. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. I'll move on, I guess. I'm not too sure. Is that like a waving emote? It is. I don't know who the hell Debbie is. Debbie is not my favorite female name in the world, but, hello, Makan Kosapo. What a name. Anyway, so I think what we're going to be doing is... Well, before I go to World 1-3... You know what, let's just double check to see what our requirements for upgrading the... What's it called? The Rapier are. Because I want to get that to +3 as soon as possible. Because the more damage I'm doing with that Rapier, the better. Because I do plan to use it as a riposta weapon, which is going to be the main style of combat here. So let's go to Blacksmith Ed and see what he requires for that, just out of interest. Just a bunch of regular shards for now. Let's go and buy 20 of those now. We do have a lot of souls. I do want to level up with some of these souls for sure. But anyway, Burzum Ed. How about that? I'm a big fan of Burzum myself, since a long time ago actually. So it's nice to see someone else is a fan. Now, shit. Let's, it's a weight-related problem. That's the reason why we can't carry more than 15. Okay, well let's just get 15 for now, that's fine. And I do agree, Makan is a very good game. A lot of people haven't played it in years, which I think is a shame. There's no real reason why people shouldn't have played it in such a long time. Although I would agree that if they have played it a lot in the past, maybe they don't want to return to it because they've been burnt out on it. But I think that, I would say that 2 or 3 years is enough time to, I guess, rejuvenate your interest in a game, even if you've played it a lot in the past. So, anyway. I'm probably going to mess around with my appearance a little bit here, in terms of white balance. I don't know why I need to make it so orange this time, but apparently I do. Anyway. So we now have a +3... Let's just... Actually, I will continue using the Scimitar in this hand, two-handed, so that I can kill that Crystal Lizard in World 1-3. That's important. So, what damage are we doing with this now? 116, that's not too bad. Versus whatever it was, 96, 97 before, so that's passable. We'll take that. Alrighty, so what do we need again? Mainly what we want, because we can buy large Sharpstone and regular Sharpstone all we want, especially with these souls here, because we can go and talk to the filthy man in World 2-2 and just buy them from him. But what we can't buy is large shards, so I would definitely like to get some large shards, or not even, sorry, chunks. Didn't mean to say large shards, I meant to say chunks. Large shards are what we can buy, chunks are what we cannot buy. All I need is one chunk from this Crystal Lizard going forward, so let's hope that that actually will drop. We've got a few attempts to get that. I'd say there's a pretty high chance we'll manage it. You'll have to excuse me for using the Scimitar here, but yeah, these dogs, long story short, cannot be parried. And as I've said many times in the past, dogs, no matter what game you fight them in, are terrible. Don't you mean Gavlan? Anyway. Gavin Wheel, Gavin Deal, unless that's some sort of reference to something else, but, as in Gavin is relevant in some way, but of course it's Gavlan. And I do feel dirty reading a Dark Souls 2 reference while playing a game which is probably about 5 times better than Dark Souls 2, but anyway. Oh, the frame rate. I mean, I will agree that the frame rate is one thing about this game that is not quite so amazing, but hey. Anyone who is used to the first Dark Souls game on console should be pretty used to this. Oh my god, that's right. Ring of Herculean Strength, go! I think that was pure hardstone that I just picked up, and look at that, large shards of sharpstone already, that's insane. So that was pure hardstone that I got, wasn't it? Yeah, look at that. I have 2 now. Crazy. That was one of the best pickups ever. I've got a random pure form of a path, and then I got 2 of exactly what I needed, so that was actually really good. I'm still going to exhaust that Crystal Lizard until it despawns, so that is the plan. And then I will go and level up the Scimitar as necessary. And after that, we will take on World 4-2, get the soul of the old hero, and then infuse that into the Scimitar to create the large Sword of Searching. At that point, we will be pretty close to, you know, having the build that we want. The reason why we wouldn't be all the way there is because I still need to make the Fatal Rapier, which requires some Marrowstone, which I think I can actually... I think I have some Marrowstone, so I would have been able to create the Fatal Rapier had I remembered to do that when I was talking to Ed before. You hope this game gets remastered like Dark Souls 1. I half do and half don't. I don't want all of the ignorant bastards who wouldn't know a good Souls game if it smacked them across the fucking head starting to play this game. But at the same time, I do want to experience it for myself. So, yeah. That would be pretty nice. Oh god. No, but seriously, I suppose there's a good reason why people haven't played this game. It's a PS3 exclusive, and I understand the previous gen consoles, when it came to those previous gen consoles, that is, the PlayStation 3 was not the popular one. It was instead the Xbox 360. But hey, the reason why I owned a PS3 first was because I was more interested in Japanese games. Lo and behold, this is a Japanese game, so... Anyway. But no, I'd be pretty happy for a remaster. But rather than have it be on consoles, I would like it to be on PC, because I'm no longer playing... This is the only Souls game that I'm playing on a console at this point. I'm not going to be touching any Souls game, apart from this one, on a console again. The rest of my Souls gameplay will be taking place on the PC. So, that's just for me personally, and of course when I do choose to stream the other Souls games in the future, I will be recording those on PC. Not just for superior performance, but because I want to have all of my gameplay time in one place, which will be on Steam. So that's pretty much how I want to go forward with that. I won't be playing the Dark Souls 1 remaster, however, because I just don't feel like it needed a remaster, as long as DS fix was a thing. So I'm sure having a remaster was necessary for the likes of putting it on the Switch and maybe the next-gen consoles as well. I don't know if Dark Souls 1 Remastered is on PS4 and Xbox One. It probably is. That shows you how much I know, which is not very much at all. But I only saw a little bit of the game when it came out, and I noted that a few things were different. The only thing that I found to be actually a proper improvement was the bonfire that was added just across from Vamos, because it was very annoying having to manually go to Vamos. But putting a bonfire there was some nice quality of life, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, when I do play Dark Souls 1 in the future on camera, that will be... Was that another pure hardstone? That's crazy. But yeah, that will be done in the original version, the Prepare to Die edition on PC, which I got on Steam after I got my Steam account. I actually bought the Dark Souls 1 PC game before I had a Steam account. Long story as to why I didn't actually get a Steam account until 2013. It related to the fact that I was playing Call of Duty Zombies with my friend, and then he said, oh, let's get, well, World at War Zombies. Custom zombies, to be absolutely explicit. But he said, let's play Black Ops 2 Zombies. This is back in 2013, and I said, oh, alright, fine. So I went and he gave me some bitcoins to gamble back then, and I went and gambled them on online Keno, and basically won us a lot of money, and so we bought 2 copies of Black Ops 2 with all the DLC, and also pocketed a bit of the money on top of that. We were Bitcoin gamblers, and we did strange things back then. But yeah, I got a Steam account for that purpose. Before then I used to either pirate games or not play PC games in general. But I had bought the first Dark Souls 1 because I was really into Dark Souls 1 back in late 2012, and I think I bought the thing. And then, well, I was obviously into Dark Souls a lot more before then, but for whatever reason I thought, hey, let's just buy it even though I'm not actually going to play it. And fortunately I was able to input some sort of key that was included in the game, and I managed to get it on Steam, and I still have that to this day, which is pretty cool. Because obviously playing physical copies of PC games is not really a good idea. It's not recommended, so yeah. Yeah, Custom Zombies was pretty great. I'd love to get into that again, but that's a bit of a time investment, and not really in the mood. Yeah, I thought he was going to despawn at that point. I just wanted to make sure, so I went and made sure. Now, we do have the Ring of Herculean strength equipped. What I'm going to do, and I've been meaning to do this, is actually put away all of my stuff, because I do have way too much in my inventory right now. And of course, those of you who are not familiar with Demon Souls, item burden is a thing. That's one thing about Demon Souls that I'm not huge on. It was kind of fine when it was the only Souls game, but once you had other Souls games to go by, obviously not having item burden was a pretty good thing. And the main reason why is because I'm a huge hoarder, you have to see, or you have to understand. So that's what bothers me about Elder Scrolls games as well. I can't just like hoard whatever I want. In Elder Scrolls games, I have to like put it into storage all the time. So getting rid of the likes of item burden is really good. So yeah. Anyway. What's my favourite boss fight in all of the Souls series? God, that is a really hard question to answer. Jeez. I'll have to really give that some thought. My favourite boss fight in all of the Souls series. Well, what I'll have to do, because it's stupid to think about all of them at the same time, I'll have to specifically think about Demon Souls first, then think about Dark Souls 1, and then go from there. So, probably my favourite boss of Demon Souls would be... For the epic experience, the Storm King maybe? Because the Storm King was really amazing when I first fought him. Just for the sheer size and the excitement of using the Storm Ruler back then. But would that even be my favourite boss of this game? We'll say that the Storm King's my favourite boss in Demon Souls. In Dark Souls 1 we've got... Artorias might be my favourite boss of Dark Souls 1. Just for that epic intro, where he just throws the corpse at you. And all of that business. In terms of my favourite one in the whole Souls series, I'm not sure. I've been recently playing through Dark Souls 3 quite a lot. I haven't played it too much. My total hours ever spent in Dark Souls 3 is like 75 hours, which is like nothing. So, yeah. I still need to play that a lot more. I like some of the boss fights in that game as well, but anyway. So we need to buy 3 large shards of Sharpstone. So we'll go and do that, and then we will have the +8 Scimitar and we'll be ready to take on World 4-2. The Ivory King in Dark Souls 2. The Ivory King. Oh, that's right, that was part of the DLC, wasn't it? Because I remember that was actually the name of one of the DLC areas, the Ivory King DLC. Or one of the DLC packs. And I don't think I ever did that. Because by the time... Like, I had stopped playing Dark Souls 2. Because I pre-ordered the thing and played it when it came out. I had stopped playing it before any DLC had been released because I hated it so much. I've come to peace with it now, but I still haven't played it enough after having come to peace with it to actually have really experienced the DLC content. So, yeah. I said I'd get myself some water, but I still haven't done that. That's alright, I'll just dehydrate to death. Hardest boss in the game? Well, you would hope so. It was like one of the DLC bosses, so... The idea of the DLC is to give you an endgame challenge, generally. Dark Souls 2 was very strange, though. Because they had... What was it called again? They had like an add-on version which just changed the whole game. Like, they just changed the position of all the enemies. That's what I have on PC. Like, what I am playing on PC now is not what I originally played in Dark Souls 2. All the enemy positions have changed, and it's like, what? Why did they choose to do this? It's probably the most bizarre attempt at keeping content fresh I've ever seen. Okay, so Filthy Man is down this way. The Smelter Demon, you mean? The guy with the big flaming sword. He was annoying. I would always have to summon people to fight him because he... What? You're still alive? I'd better kill you. I'd be up to save my money. Fuck. Why are you guys still here? I came here before and you would all despawn. What the bloody hell is going on? Am I going insane? Okay, please don't alert this other guy. What the fuck is going on? These guys had despawned, I swear to you. What is happening? I'm so confused. These guys had actually despawned. Okay, we need to try and hit as many of them as possible. I said that I wasn't going to do this on camera anymore. God, that was terrible. I only got 1 out of all of them. That was a really bad run. Anyway, so... we need 1 more shard of Sharpstone. But yeah, these guys frickin'... Oh yeah, the Scholar of the First Sin edition. Stupid thing. That was really weird. I never understood that. To put it into perspective, Aldia wasn't even a thing yet when I had stopped playing Dark Souls 2, and then I returned to it like a year later. And baked into the original game with a patch, they had Aldia appearing randomly. I'm like, who the hell is this? It was just really bizarre. I'm like, who is this guy? He's just like exploding at the end of a boss fight and just appearing and talking to me. I'm like, can you go away? What kind of patch is this? But of course it's a thing from the DLC which they sort of added to the original game through a patch, which is weird, but anyway. This is gross talking about Dark Souls 2, what's wrong with me? So patches is... we may as well bring him to the Nexus, why not?
My apologies.
Yeah, drop him down. Big fat armadillo looking thing. Alrighty. So, the filthy man is down here, being filthy. Because he is a man who is filthy. I don't really know what kind of verb being filthy is, but anyway. So large shards of sharpstone here. I only need one more because I did pick up 2 from those crystal lizards who astoundingly had not despawned. I don't know what was going on there because seriously, last time I came to this area, there were no crystal lizards here because I'd killed presumably all of them, but they decided to all come this time I came, which is bizarre. But anyway, it's not a big deal. Just going to avoid these rockworms and get back to the archstone. Is that a crystal lizard there? No, that's an item to pick up. It's always interesting when people choose to just do a random emote instead of saying hi. But whatever. I guess it passes for a greeting in some strange, bizarre way. Oh, I meant to roll there, not just take the hit like an idiot. I'm into late moon grass right now. I think I'm at the point in the game where I would still want to be using half moon grass, but I think I've had to heal a lot in this particular playthrough, so yeah. Too lazy to type lol. Yet you've just typed that sentence, so obviously you're not that lazy. I'm gonna go and get myself some water. I'll be back in like 10 seconds. That was probably more than 10 seconds, because, you know, time really flies when you're not counting the time. Time seems to take forever to pass when you're actually physically counting it, but... Anyway. So, now that we have the upgrade materials that we need to upgrade the Scimitar to +8, we're going to go to Blacksmith Ed, do that. Actually, we can probably upgrade this through Baldwin, to be honest, so maybe we won't go to Ed. Thing is, whenever I unlock Ed, I waste my time actually going to him and upgrading through him every time, but the thing is, he's only really useful for when you want to create like a unique weapon using a soul, or if you want to upgrade through ore paths that are, I suppose, beyond the regular paths like sharpstone and hardstone and stuff like that. Gatorade? Why the bloody hell would I need Gatorade if I'm sitting on a chair doing nothing? I would argue that you don't need Gatorade even if you're being active. But anyway. Maybe it can help, but it's not a matter of necessity at the very least. Anyway, what am I doing? So, Baldwin. We're going to upgrade this through Baldwin. And then we're probably going to... I mean, I kind of want to create a... What is that? Nothing. Oh, that would have been a quality rapier. Alright, so now that we have the Scimitar to +8, once we get the soul of the hero, we will be able to create the large sword of searching. So, as well as that, I did want to create a Fatal Rapier. But we may as well just do a Scimitar run through the whole of World 4-2. But before we do that, I'm actually going to... that's the Red Hot Demon Soul. I'm going to consume the Dragon Demon Soul because I don't have a need for that, do I? No, I don't think I do. So let's just go and consume the Dragon Demon Soul. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go to Blacksmith Ed right now and give him the Red Hot Demon Soul because I'm actually scared that I'm going to somehow not have it and then, you know, the run will be ruined because I wouldn't be able to create the large sword of searching, so... That would be really freaking terrible. Anyway. Let's give that to him now. Then we will consume the Dragon Demon Soul and then level up with that stuff. In terms of what I'm going to level up, I'll have to come to a decision on that. What am I doing? Talking to him. So once we exhaust his text and then exit out of his dialogue, then... So this is his text exhausted. And now we will select yes to give him the Red Hot Demon Soul. And that's all we needed to do. And while we're here, we will consume this 26,400 souls for a total, for a current total at the very least, of 74,000 500 exactly. Which is pretty cool. I can show you that by moving myself. Oh, that didn't work because the frickin' soul counter is gone. You're so funny, Doomlink, expecting to have the soul counter during the loading screen. Anyway, so let's go and consume these as well. I'm going to equip them to my usage bar. Because, and there are very few things, there's a small number of things in Dark Souls 2 that were decent as far as, I guess, innovations. One of them was being able to consume multiple souls at one time. So that was pretty cool. Alrighty, we currently have 88,500 souls, and I can go and show you them now. There we go. It's magic, I can move myself around physically. Your favourite class is the knight and you only use daggers. Why would you use the knight if you're going to use a dagger? You should have a more heavily dexterity based starting class. But anyway, actually I'm not going to equip anything there. Let's just go. Now that I can see this is kind of important. I need to take off the Ring of Herculean Strength ring and maybe put something. I said ring twice. Ring of Herculean Strength ring. That's beyond repetitive. We put on the Regenerator's ring for lack of anything else to put on it, so... Where is the... There she is. Maiden in black. You need the health. Daggers are actually alright, because they have a pretty good, I guess... They deal a decent amount of stamina damage. You can sort of get enemies in a stun lock with them. It's pretty good. And you attack so frequently. Alrighty, here comes the agonizing process of leveling up in Demon Souls, because the thing is, once you level up a single stat, one level, there's no going back, so you kind of have to make sure you're doing what you want to do. I'm going to mention first and foremost that we do not need to worry about the stat requirements for the large sword of searching, because we're not actually going to use it as a damaging weapon, I don't think. If we were to focus on the requirements for that weapon, I think we would end up putting too many points into... strength. Let me just double check the requirements for that, because I am somewhat interested. Going to go to the large sword of searching. I'm on my laptop doing this. Normally I'd be on my desktop doing this, but so what are the actual 24 strength. Guess what? I'll give you one guess as to whether or not we're going to do that. Have you guessed yet? Well, your guess was probably correct, because, no. Because our current strength is 9, and getting to 24 strength, Jesus, what a waste of my time. Okay, so, therefore, I suppose we should just focus, well then again, maybe we want some endurance. You know what, let's get this to 20 to start with. That's what I've decided. Might get you to... I won't get you to 30 just yet. 25 is alright. That's quite alright. Look, the reason why I want to increase my endurance is because I'm thinking that I will want some more equip burden. Or equip load is the actual way to refer to that. I want less equip burden, but more equip load. That's how that works. I think I'm going to use the dull gold set, but I don't think that's going to require much more endurance. You know what I'll do? I'll hold off on the endurance until I get the dull gold set, because I don't want to put points into these things unnecessarily. So I'm probably going to put the rest into dexterity, because that is going to actually translate to more damage, and a lot more damage actually. So I've got that to 30 now, so I'm doing pretty well with my stats. I have a few more level ups to go. How about we put it into... We'll just take you to 20. We'll aim to get you to 20 because it looks nice. Anyway. I don't know what you mean by a no pitchfork or armor pitchfork run in Dark Souls 3. I really haven't played that game enough to really know what's going on in it. I've done 2 somewhat full playthroughs of the game. I've got 2 characters that are around soul level 100. And I've got one that is currently sitting around the soul level 40 mark. which is a dexterity build. But that's not really enough to fully learn the game, at least not to the standard that I would normally consider to be having learnt the game well. So, I do still have a little bit more to do there. So yeah, as I said, we will be going Scimitar for the whole World War II area here. And I do intend on killing the old hero in a time span less than 15 frickin' minutes, because I'm not going to be using the rapier for this crap. After this, I will have to try and get some Marrowstone to create my Fatal Rapier, or at least upgrade it a bit more. Did I create the Fatal Rapier? Like, is this actually a Fatal Rapier? I have a feeling that I did do that. But no, it couldn't have been. I was using regular Sharpstone, wasn't I? I had a strange feeling that I had already made it Fatal Rapier +1. Maybe I didn't do that. That's really bizarre. Am I going insane? There's no way I had that much actual... Maybe I did have that much Marrowstone. Of course, this wouldn't be a problem if I could read Japanese, so I only have myself to blame for this. Not being able to actually read what I'm using, so... Yeah. So, when you... Obviously, GOT is the acronym Game of Thrones, even though you did not do any capitalization there. But the thing is, I don't even know who that character is. I haven't watched Game of Thrones in like 6 years, so sorry. I'm one of those people. No, it hasn't been 6 years. It was, God, how long has it been? It's been 5 years. Jesus, 2014 was the last time I watched it, so... Can't believe that was 5 years ago. I started watching Game of Thrones around... Well, it was towards the end of Season 1, I think it was, when I started watching it. And I just sort of, you know, stopped. For no real reason other than I just lost interest, I think. It wasn't like it did bad. Me no like Game of Thrones anymore, it's just, I don't know, I decided to do other things with my time instead. It is a big time allocation. I did have a few problems with Game of Thrones. One of them was just how they went out of their way to just have scenes be in the brothel. Like, it was dumb. Obviously sex sells, but they went a little bit far with it. Please don't roll off. Oh, fuck me dead. Anyway. But no, I would say that any long-haired person could look like a lot of characters, so if I do look like that person, then fair enough. Unless you're talking about not just long hair, but also the face. I'm not at all impressed that I just did that. As soon as I rolled backwards, I knew that that was a huge risk, and then it happened, so that was really quite upsetting. Anyway, once again, no tendency events here that I need to worry about, so I can technically die as much as I want to, but seriously, we're not going to die again. That's not acceptable. I'm going to drop on the Reaper's head, which did not work in our favour at all. We are doing a decent amount of damage here. Two-handed fast attacking builds are definitely really viable in this game, so if that is your interest, then go for it, but that's not what this build is for. We'll be able to see how the build is actually going to play out once we get the large sword of searching. Can you not? Thought he was going to mess around with me there a little bit. Going to do a strong attack on you. There you go. These golden skeletons do give me a problem from time to time. So, yeah. Let's not do stupid things like roll off the edge anymore. Can we not do that? Like, can you believe that I just did that? I actually just fell for the bottom of the rung, I guess, player trap. Oh, there's a shiny item, let's go pick it up. And then you get ambushed. It's like, that's the Dark Souls classic, or the Souls classic, I should say. This is obviously not a Dark Souls game. Did the other skeleton commit suicide? Well, I'll take it. Saves me the time. Anyway. So, we are actually dealing a pretty decent amount of damage right now with that weapon, and I'm pretty happy about that. I don't mind the skeletons too much, but the golden ones do give me problems from time to time. But I have to say, skeletons and dogs are the two things that have remained more or less unchanged throughout the whole series since this game. So, yeah. Skeletons flinch you when they roll, and they roll around a lot, and then dogs kind of do the same, except they don't roll around, they just bite. They're constantly biting and constantly flinching you, and it's a nightmare. So, I absolutely hate dogs. Dogs just, ugh. Even in Dark Souls 3, they've been giving me a lot of problems as of late. So, yeah. We are getting somewhat close to the end of this place. This can actually be a somewhat difficult archstone section to go through. But if you're going through it effectively, it doesn't take long to complete it all. Oh, I wanted to roll through that. Didn't work so well. Delayed roll. The tall beam conjuring guys. God, I suck. God, I could win an award for being horrendous. The worst Souls player. Congratulations, I was going to say. Alright, late moongrass. Equip full moon because I'm almost out of grass in general. Look, I wanted him to come closer because this guy needs to die. I didn't want to fight both of them at the same time. Asshole, he usually comes after me. But he chose not to do it this time. Because he's bloody rude. Anyway. So. What we're gonna do is just run through here. There is, actually no, there's Sucker Stone in here, not Marrowstone. We don't want Sucker Stone. That's not very interesting. But we're just gonna run through here, avoiding these exploding things. Look, as long as you keep running, these exploding things shouldn't actually bother you. Just don't trigger the explosion and stop moving. That's when you're going to have a problem. But yeah, running through there, we will enter the boss room like this. And I believe the soul we just picked up there, it's like a legendary hero's soul, something like that. That's like the most soul-giving, which is a horrendous way to explain that, of the regular consumable souls in the game. We do have the Thief's Ring on, I believe, which is pretty much a necessity for this fight. Even if you don't normally use the Thief's Ring, I would strongly recommend that you use it for this fight. It just makes things a lot easier. Also, that guy right there fell down from that place up there. I don't know if you remember when we knocked him down, but yeah, that's a thing. So let's get out of his way. As long as we have the Thief's Ring, he'll only come after us for a very short time, but that time around he didn't even come after us, so that's crazy. Non-Thief's Ring old hero runs are very, very different to what you're going to be seeing this time around, so yeah, that's worth mentioning. See how this is not going to take forever? That attack's pretty easy to avoid. And now that he's done that, he shouldn't come after us. Thief's Ring old hero is the way to go, seriously. As you can see, he moves a lot though, so it's difficult to get consistent hits off on the guy. I could do this in my sleep. Just getting stuck between his legs. See, he doesn't even want to fully charge at me and hit me with his sword. Usually he'll do that once, but he didn't even do that. Alright, this time he'll come after me. No, he's gonna do that again. Oh. This guy sucks. This particular old hero that I'm fighting is probably the most pathetic of all of them that I've fought in the past. Oh, here we go. This is what I was expecting. Could you see that he was sort of adjusting himself to get on target, and then he just ended up not being on target at all? Foolish, tall man with the golden outfit. But this guy here, I think, is dressed in the way that the Shadow Men were dressed, I think. I don't know much about the Demon Souls lore. I've never been very interested in Souls lore in general. Well, he's done again. This guy wins the award for, like, most retarded boss, I would say. I mean, he's no pinwheel, but he's still pretty easy. It's, once again, it's a very different fight if you don't have the Thief's Ring on. But still, I'm just gonna mash him to death. Get out of my face. He doesn't actually make that noise. I'm sort of providing sound effects. Kind of like how when you watch a movie, a lot of the things you hear are just not realistic. It's kind of, Foley. Well, same with me going... So, I hope you enjoyed that. Dude, hurry. Your name's putting pressure on me. Hurry with what? Shall we go? No, we won't actually go and fight the Storm King just yet. Where are you from? I love your accent. I'm from Australia, but I don't have a very strong Australian accent. It definitely is there, and anyone who's actually from Australia would be able to hear that I have an Australian accent, at least most. Some actually think that I'm not Australian, even though they are themselves Australian, but most would be able to pick it up. But yeah, I don't have a very strong accent. So, it's more of a neutral Australian accent, which translates to something that could very easily be from a region in England, because it is, of course, originally derived from the English accent. We need to go to Blacksmith Ed, because we now have the soul of the old hero, and we can now create the large sword of searching. Very good. Rightio. Let's go and have a chat to our friend Ed, our scaly friend Ed. He is scaly like Baldwin, isn't he? Oh god. I don't mean as scaly as in, like, you know, he likes to look at pictures of extremely muscly, anthropomorphic, and I was going down a bad path. So we can, as you can see, we don't need to read Japanese to know that this is the large sword of searching. Let's frickin' make the thing. Alrighty, now you guys will be able to see. I'm about to demonstrate you guys what it means when I say Windmill Rapier build. Now, you guys were probably wondering what the hell I meant by that. Well, you're about to frickin' see. Yes, I am an Aussie. Although I generally don't like Australians, so go figure. So,
Well, go leave the country, mate. You don't have to stay here, mate.
anyway, don't worry, that just sort of came out of me. So, this is the Windmill Rapier build, right here. It's not really a windmill, it kind of is, in a weird way, if you were creative enough. But the point is that this is a parrying animation. So basically every time I want to parry something, it's going to be this big fucking thing swinging around. That's what I mean by Windmill Rapier build. So, I'm going to be walking around with this big fucking sword doing this, and just smashing everyone. In theory. That is if I'm actually on target. So, and by on target I mean, you know, timing my parry as well. Am I out of water yet? No. I usually drink rum out of this glass, but...
No rum today.
Anyway. No anything today. Just water today. What am I doing? I would like a different armor set, preferably the old gold set. But we'll have to go through World 5 for that. We actually have access to 5.1. No, sorry, 5.2. 5.1. So therefore we have access to Marrowstone. But this might actually be a Fatal Rapier +3. Is it? It can't be. What are the stats? Okay, let me just do this. I'm going to check the stats of the Fatal Rapier just to see. Because I am freaking interested to see if this is it. It shouldn't be. It actually shouldn't be. Because I did not have that much Marrowstone, but I have a distinct memory that I created the Fatal Rapier +1. But I must not have done that. So let me have a look and see. No. So the Fatal Rapier +3 should have 83 innate damage. Does it give me a critical damage stat here? I don't think it does. Okay. Well, therefore, what that would mean is that this is definitely not a Fatal Rapier. So we can probably create one, I would say. That's right. I decided against making a Fatal Rapier +1 because it would give me less damage overall. So That makes sense. I understand. Okay, so we're going to bring up the chat again. Was the guy at the Temple of the Many Faces gone? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10 for having lost me, that's a 10. So, miss me with that shit. What? Hold on. What was I doing? That's right. See, you threw me off so hard with that I couldn't even remember what I was doing anymore. Anyways, the Temple of the Many Faces God. Anyway, so we can't even upgrade this thing, I don't think. We don't, not that we would want to, but so what's the starting damage of the Fatal Rapier? That's actually a good point. I do need to double check that. So I think it's 77. Yes, it is 77. That would mean that this is the Fatal Rapier. Look at all these frickin' options that I can create. Like, thank God I have the wiki. So the starting damage for the Fatal Rapier is indeed 77. And this is the only one out of all of these that is 77. And 2 units of whatever the hell I need to create it sounds about right to me. So I guess we'll create the Fatal Rapier +1. And, you know, I would have no hope reading that because of the kanji. Anyway, I think we're going to go and create that. Boom. Fatal Rapier +1. Now, I can see the requirements for the next one. It is 3 shards. So we actually need 7 regular shards and 1 large shard of... oh, sorry, chunk. Yeah, chunk. Anyway, so... we need to kill those stupid mosquito things, basically. And hope that they actually drop some Marrowstone for us. Which is also known as Pulpstone in the Asian English version. But I'm not playing the Asian English version because Pulpstone is ridiculous. Anyway. Our current damage output is pretty low again. It is 98. It was like 117 before. It has now gone down to 98. The reason why is because now we have increased critical damage with this weapon. So, there you go. That is the idea of... and you can see that we can attack here with this weapon if we want. It's just not going to do any damage. I guess if I was so inclined to flinch an enemy as I was fighting them, that would work. But, yeah. It's not going to be used to actually deal damage, to be honest. So, yeah. Now, I don't know how I'm going to go about killing these mosquito creatures, but whatever. Let's give it a try. May as well. They don't only drop from the mosquito creatures, though. They also drop from the, those weird puffing things. So let's have a look at that now. If I can actually get some sort of indication as to the best location to get Marrowstone, that will be nice. So, giant ticks and giant mosquitoes. So the giant ticks are the stupid things that puff up. And of course, the giant mosquitoes don't exist in World 5.1. So, I would guess that, well, hold on. Ring of Avarice might be nice. Now that, no, sorry, that's not a... don't worry, I just said something very stupid. Anyway, so, I was just, yeah, it doesn't matter. The Ring of Avarice is for, increased souls, not more, luck when it comes to drops. So... I missed. There we go. So you can see how one regular poke there was like 20 damage. And then the critical strike was 600 damage. So right now, when we have a fatal weapon, we are pretty much locking ourselves into a critical build. That's how it works. Anyway. At this point, I'm going to be doing a bit of time wasting because I don't think that this is going to be very effective as far as actually getting the Marrowstone that I need. It might be, who knows? Come on. So, well, maybe not making that and those noises. Once again, you know, special effects. Not necessarily what is actually happening. This guy's a freaking asshole. There we go. Oh, bastard. Anyway. So I'm not going to use a Soldier's Lotus because we're just going to get poisoned by this swamp again, so let's not. There's a Black Phantom guy over here. Now, to actually get Black Phantom Cell and Vinland to appear, we do need to take this thing as... when I say this thing, I mean this world section down to pure black world tendency. But I don't think we're going to do that just yet, even though I do want the dull gold set sometime soon. It's decent for defense, it's not too heavy, and it looks alright. But we're not going to get it just yet. Keeping in mind that the dull gold set is female only. This is a game where gender is kind of a big deal because it determines what you can and cannot equip in many cases. Want the Old King set? Well, if you are female, you can't use it. It's male only. Actually, no, that's unisex. I'm thinking of the Dark Silver set. I do not want to fight the Giant Depraved one right now, like, because I can't actually parry him now that I think about it. This is all kinds of bad, because this is a freaking. You know what? I'll have to go for backstabs. Can I backstab him? I don't think so. You know what? Let's bail. No, come on! I was on land. Don't give me that crap. Let's hope that we can get out of his aggro range. If he leashes, then all good. If he doesn't leash, there's going to be all kinds of bad to speak of. So, yeah. I can't freaking believe that that just happened. So, I targeted the wrong damn thing. Not the guy in front of me, but instead the stupid mosquitoes above me. And that caused something of an issue. To put it simply. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so what we're going to do is go all the way back. I hope you guys are ready for this. If we actually, like, if our current objective was to complete this area, we'd just be able to continue in that direction, no problems, like, easy. And we would more or less get to our destination. However, I actually wanted to be on that platform back there to fight the mosquitoes, but also take care of those stupid flaming spear guys. Because, needless to say, if I'm running away from a giant depraved one, plus wanting to eventually kill those ticks, having a flaming spear being inserted into my rectum is not really a good way to go about doing either of those things. So, yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, what good fun. I love this. Anyway, as you can see, if your actual objective is to complete this area, it is not recommended that you go this way manually. Oh, please tell me it allows me through. Maybe I'm misplaced. Maybe it's over here where I want to go. Poisoned again. As you would expect. As you would expect. What's over here? They're not giant depraved ones. They are. Oh my god. I did not want to fight you guys at all. This is so bad. I don't have any means to return to the Archstone either. It's not like Homeward Bones. You instead need shards of Archstone, which are not quite so in demand. Well, not in demand. They're very much in demand when you're talking about me, but they're not so much. They're not so generous with giving you them. That's what I'm trying to say. If I could possibly get my brain in gear. Now, if I actually remain lost here, it will be sad. It is kind of easy to get lost in this place. I know where I am now. This is not what I wanted at all. Are we going to waste our time killing the Dirty Colossus? Maybe. This is so not what I want. Let's go kill the Dirty Colossus, seeing as though we're already here. Or at least attempt to kill him. FYI, I have 63,000 souls. Let's not fucking lose these. Anyway. We've pretty much locked ourselves into killing the boss, so let's just go do that now. Oh. Where the hell am I going? Over here is where I'm going. No, that's not where I'm going. Continue over this way. Whatever, do what you want, doesn't matter, it's fine. I need to continue in this direction anyway. I believe so anyway. Where the hell am I? I never get lost through here. How did I manage to do it this time? You know, I have to say, generally speaking, when it comes to runs through World 5.2, this is one of the worst I've ever done on camera. So, if you want proof of that, then check my other recordings. Seriously. Normally I get through here, like I'd already be halfway killing the frickin' Dirty Colossus at this point, but no. I wouldn't actually be halfway killing it because I'm stuck with the Rapier now. Hope you guys are ready for that. Because I will be fighting the Dirty Colossus, poking him slowly to death, or slowly poking him to death, however I want to actually structure that sentence so that it actually makes some sort of sense. Anyway. Whoa, stop it! This guy here is a bad thing, by the way. Let's get away from him. There we go. That's where we want to be. We did just walk past a lot of items, but I don't care about them right now. It's not very interesting to me. What's very interesting to me is killing this frickin' boss. Okay, we can actually use the Soldier's Lotus now. Let's go do that. Done. Now we are no longer poisoned. We're instead going to lose some health from this guy. 18 damage, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go two-handed with this stupid rapier. Look at this shit. So, this is going to take a little bit of time. Oh. And if we get this black stuff on us, it is going to deplete our health, which is going to be annoying, yes. But, ooh, turpentine, that's right. That might actually help me out. Alright, this black stuff, we're going to burn ourselves to death. Not actually to death, but we're going to burn ourselves. Loud bird outside, shut up. How dare you revel in your freedom as a bird to chirp. Turpentine. I do have any. I do have some, right? Seems that I don't. Either I didn't collect much of it, or I had used what I had already collected. That's right, I used some turpentine on 5-1's boss, I think. So that was a thing. And also thank you for the, I guess, well wishes. What's your name? Zero. I'm going to need luck. Not in terms of actually succeeding in killing the boss, because this guy's pretty easy. Instead, I'm going to need luck in terms of not falling asleep while doing this, because this is going to take a while. I don't mind getting rid of the black stuff, that's fine. Right, let's go burn ourselves again. I don't think there were many interesting items outside. Maybe there were, maybe there was some turpentine, but anyway. Don't hit me. Alright, let's give up and just accept the black stuff. This is not very good. Very good experience. Alrighty, so now, maybe I should not take that hit anymore. Let's just not. I think our healing capabilities are reduced when we're under the effect of that black stuff as well. This is well and truly awful. Let's heal again. Don't hit me with that. This is really bad. I'm doing like no damage, and I knew that this was going to be the case. The reason why I ended up doing this was because I did fall off that stupid walkway. So I thought, alright, let's just go fight the boss. When he does charge up that, I guess, outward black stuff strike, which is exactly this, I'm actually going to get away from it because that burns. So, the turpentine that I thought that I had would have actually been really useful, but no, I don't have it. Basically, how it works is that the longer I do this fight, the more I'm going to need to heal myself just overall, because he does have the ability to whittle down my health over time. Get away from that shit. But yeah, he has the ability to do that with his black stuff, so not so worried about his big swinging attacks with his fists. Those aren't so much of a risk. It's more the black stuff. If I succeed in this fight, it's going to be quite the achievement. Fighting Garl Vinland will be really easy, by the way, because parrying him to death is the easiest thing in the world. If we're doing even more damage with riposters, that's going to be great. But against this guy, it's not really going to work so well. That's a lot of pubic hair, mate. It's a bit too much pubic hair, actually. Definitely a sense of hygiene will help with that. So we've almost got into half. I think we started with like 11 or 12 full moon grass, so maybe we'll be alright. I'm not very happy that I've used all of my grass here, but if it's necessary, then I'll do it. I will need some sort of other alternative to critical damage at some point in the future. Maybe a dragon weapon. Maybe I can finally have an excuse to use a dragon weapon in this game. Maybe we'll do that. Or make like a dragon something or other. Something fast attacking. Maybe a dragon Uchigatana. No, I'm not using the Uchigatana again. I'm always resorting to that. It's just not. Anyway. I'm hungry, by the way. Wouldn't mind a munch of some description. Ooh, stomach just rumbled. You know, when you actually acknowledge verbally that you're hungry, you become 10 times hungrier. So my recommendation to you would be not to do that. Say that, oh, I'm so full. If you're going to say anything. So, anyway. Oh, I haven't had my YouTube chat up. Not that it matters that much. I don't think anyone's talking on YouTube. 1 second while I do that. Was it really that important? It wasn't, actually. Anyway, so no one's talking on there. Burning myself again. Did a big overhead swing right there. That was a monstrous swing, my friend. Oh, just took that attack head on. Get out of there. Don't top me up with the black stuff, please. There needs to be a better term for that than black stuff. It's very, well, it's aptly descriptive, but I feel like it needs a better term to refer to it by. I knew I didn't have the stamina to roll that. As long as I'm smart. I mean, I do have other means to... Ooh, not really. I don't really have other means to heal myself. So, let's not... Fucking loud dog. So basically that is the yappy dog that barks intermittently, and it just happens to be way closer to my door than it usually is. So if it doesn't shut up within the next 10 seconds, I will be muting my microphone, because that is phenomenally disturbing to the live stream. So don't worry, it won't bark for very long. But alright, I'm doing that now. One moment. I think it stopped. Freaking hate that dog, seriously. It's a public disturbance. I should really stick some boobs out if I want people talking on the chat. Well, I have enough people talking on the chat. Like, to be honest, well, YouTube isn't so much like that. That's mainly... I wasn't actually complaining about people not talking on YouTube. It depends on what I actually record. I do have a following on YouTube that is not so interested in Demon Souls as other things, so I get plenty of people to talk to on Twitch, so that works enough for me. As long as I've got someone to at least have a little bit of a chat to, I'm okay. But I do agree that if I actually whipped out the tits, maybe I'd be having a bit more of a chat than otherwise. I don't want to make a premature announcement here, but I think we're going to succeed. Really. Oh dear. I think he's almost dead, hopefully. As long as he doesn't do anything too strange. I'm black again. So, I mean, I'm sure that someone could derive some terrible meaning from this. You turn black so you burn yourself. So I guess if Michael Jackson was a white guy and then turned black, he would have died from heavy burn wounds. That's a thing that just happened. And that's also a thing that I just said. I think it'd stop.
I shall await thine return, slayer of demons. I am here for thee.
I think it's safe to talk. I just don't want, like, that yapping is just so incredibly disturbing that I don't want it to be permeating the live stream. I'd rather actually be silent. Alright, it's gone further away. Anyway, I do honestly apologise for that. There's a long story about that dog, but I will kill it one day. So, we currently have 112,000 souls, which is really good actually. It's probably going to be more if I choose to use the... I forgot the name of this soul actually, but the point is that we probably won't need to use this for anything, so let's just go and consume it now. Stupid cunt next door is now going, "Ah, shut up, dog." It's like, well, how about you invest in some dog training? Or put the thing down, you fucking mongrel of a woman. Anyway, so what we're going to do is, once again, try to get some more upgrade materials for this rapier. But before we do that, we will level up some more. We have 152,000 souls right now, which is really good. So I'm definitely happy with that. Let's go and talk to the Maiden in Black. Once again, we need to decide on what we're going to upgrade. We're taking this to 20. You are going to 35. Thank you. And, well, I think that might be it. I think we want a lot of health, because let's say, for instance, we get into New Game Plus and beyond. If we miss any of our parries, it's going to deal a lot of damage to us. So I think lots of health is going to make a big difference for us. So we can probably go and do that. Just go into Vitality from this point forward. Alright. And naturally we don't need to put any, I guess, points into Intelligence to get our magic bar up. So that magic bar is going to remain pretty small. But yeah, I'm not going to be making use of magic in the future, at least not really. But I think I'm going to follow up on that decision, or at least idea that I had before, which was that I wanted to get a dragon weapon. Because I very, very rarely use dragon weapons, but I think I'm actually going to use one for this build. I could alternatively use a dexterity-based weapon, because I am doing a dexterity build effectively here. It's designed to be a parry build, but I could actually use a dexterity weapon as well. So perhaps I could get a hiltless or something like that, just something a little bit different to what I've done in the past in terms of my recordings. I do plan to pretty much do everything when it comes to playing this game on camera. But that might be a good thing to do. Just get the hiltless or something like that. I'd say that I would be able to kill Satsuki relatively easily. So that would mean that I would have to bring the Shrine of Storms down to pure black if I wanted to actually fight Black Phantom Satsuki for the Hiltless. But I think that would be a good idea because that would require colorless demon souls, I think. So that would be the one single thing that I would use colorless demon souls for. And to be honest, I think that I'll be able to get those pretty easily. What is my world tendency for Boletarian Palace? If I can get through World 1-3, I'd probably be able to bring it to pure white, which would give me access to Executioner Marauder. By extension, giving me access to a colorless demon soul there as well. So that would be really cool. But I think what we're going to do for now is... well, let's do this in order. Yeah, I think we're going to try and get some Marrowstone again. Although I would like to get... hold on, is Patches here? No, he's not. Oh, I didn't talk to him. Shit. I do want to buy some Shards of Archstone from him, to be honest, but that's going to actually be really important. But, anyway. Maybe we should take down World 4, like now. I don't know if we have the stones for it, though. Maybe I should hold off on that. Well, I need to make some sort of decision. That's the worst thing when I'm recording live and I have to actually make a decision. It's like, god damn it. Okay, so... let's start by going to Patches, talking to him, bringing him over here, getting the Shards of Archstone, and then making use of those as we try to get some Marrowstone from World 5-2. I think that is going to be the current course of action for us. Not that I really wanted to return to this place. I've been here enough times already. But we're going to do it anyway. Because why not? There are a few reasons why not, but it is important that we get Patches to the Nexus, so we'll just do that. That's fine. Have to bring this down. Oh, that was insane. I'd actually managed to hit the edge of this instead of hitting me. Unless I still had the final frames of my invincibility when he did that. Are you kidding me? How the hell are you still here? How the hell are you both still here? This is insanity. This is actually crazy. I'm gonna kill you and then I'll kill your friend. There we go. I'm actually doing decent damage here. It must be the dexterity. What's the damage output of my thing now? 101? It's not very good, but anyway. It's alright. Could be worse. So I'm going to hit you before you can go down there, because as long... oh, never mind, that didn't work out so well, did it? Alright, so if I can get... oh, I did manage to hit that guy, that's cool. I'm going to stick with... oh. This is kind of bad. So I only got one again out of all of these, so that sucks. Whatever. Got some large sharpstone, which is cool. Alrighty, so we're going to go to where Patches is. We'll just say, oh, we didn't have a problem at all with your little trap. And then he'll go, oh, how'd you get out of there? And all that business. And then he'll give us like a ring of gash resistance, I think. Or is it the ring of flame resistance? One of those two. He gives us both. One he will give in World 4-2 and one he will give in 2-2. So yeah. Anyway. I am freaking hungry. How long have I been streaming for? Actually, let's go fight this guy. Why not? Yep. So I have been streaming for 1 hour and 30 minutes at this point. I'll probably go for another 30 minutes or so. That'll do it for me. But anyway, what is... oh, Patches is over here. He's actually shifted positions after that point.
You! How did you do that?
How did you do that?
Now that's the ring of flame resistance, I think, which would make sense because this is... what do you call it? A flamey sort of area. There's a lot of fire involved, so flame resistance is actually rather helpful, I would say. It's frickin' 2 in the afternoon and I haven't eaten today. What's wrong with me, you ask? Well, I woke up kind of late. I woke up at like 10 minutes to 11, so... Not that I wanted to do that, but I guess I don't know, stayed up a little bit too late last night. Something like that. Generally, I try to wake up by like 9:30. That's my ideal wake-up time, but I haven't really managed that so well this week. Anyway, back to the Nexus we go. And then hopefully we'll have enough souls to buy a decent number of Shards of Archstone. They are pretty expensive in this game. Once again, it's very different to that of the other Souls games, particularly the Dark Souls series, where you do have bonfires involved. Homeward Bones are both quite frequently picked up in the world, and then also not too expensive to buy, whereas Shards of Archstone are treated rather differently in this game. They're actually pretty expensive and you almost never pick them up as you go along through the game, so yeah. Can't remember how much they are each, so we're going to have a look and see. 5,000 each? Well, I guess we'll buy 2 of them then. It's kind of expensive, but anyway. This sucks. I really should try to, well, if I drop down World 5, you know what we could do? This is the thing that I need to keep in mind. I'm going to need a lot of Stones of Ephemeral Eyes, because I'm planning on getting World 5 down to Pure Black, as well as World 4 down to Pure Black. Now, how this works is, I'm going to need Stones of Ephemeral Eyes for both of those things, but the problem is that, well, this isn't necessarily a problem, but it is something to consider. The lower the world tendency is, the better the drop rates are. So therefore, getting this Archstone down to Pure Black first, before doing that with World 4, might actually be worthwhile, because I'll be able to get better drop chances from those, you know, mosquito things, and yeah, that'll be good for Marrowstone, basically. So I think maybe we'll have to do that first. So maybe we'll do that now. What? We have 6 Stones of Ephemeral Eyes, I think. It's not really enough to... Ooh, that's like 1 step off Pure White. That's really bad. I should have considered this before actually killing that boss. But, Jesus. Maybe we'll have to go through World 3-1 first, because I know that I'll be able to get some Stones of Ephemeral Eyes when I go through there. Did I pick up the free one in the Nexus in this playthrough? I'm not too sure. This is rough, because it's probably going to take exactly 6 to get it to Pure Black, if not 7, which is going to leave me in a bad situation, so I don't know if I like that. Do I have to just continue through the game and hope that I get a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes as I continue? Maybe I'll... You know what, we could do the Storm King. Then again, I wanted to use the Storm King to get the world tendency up higher after having taken it to Pure Black to kill Satsuki, so that's a bit rough as well. Okay, so what we'll do, maybe, is take on 3-1. Maybe? What Stones of Ephemeral Eyes can we get there? Then again, stones are purchasable from patches, but only not at the moment. Later on, I think you can purchase a few, but not many. It's like after you kill the Archdemon of World 1, I think. I don't know. Decisions. The biggest problem is that 2 things that I want to do right now are get the Hiltless and get Marrowstone. So, when both of those require, like, we'll say a total of 12 or so Stones of Ephemeral Eyes, and I only have 6, it leaves me in a bit of a bad situation. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of, like, where I could get Stones of Ephemeral Eyes. What I could do, and this is a weird decision, is I could just try to get the Valley of Defilement down, like right now. Let's just do that. This is going to be rough, but we'll actually give it a shot. So, best way to do this is just commit suicide going down this way. What bothers me the most is that I am really close to being pure white, so that's just going to require even more frickin' stones of ephemeral eyes at this point. I'm pretty sure that I got the free ones, so yeah. Anyway. This is kind of an annoying place to get your world tendency down, to be honest. Because you have to, how do I say? Travel quite a long distance to kill yourself. If you were doing it in 5.1, you would have to go all the way to the top of that walkway. In fact, you know, 5.1 might even be faster than this. Even though you have to go to the top of that walkway, I'd say that would be even closer than doing this. So maybe we'll go to 5.1 to do that. Let's do that now. It will save time in the long run, even though it's a little bit of a time sink to go all the way back to the Nexus and then return to 5.1. So, we'll just do it that way. Okay. I'm not too impressed with the situation, because I would like some more stones of ephemeral eyes, and the reason why I can't help but stop myself continuing through, like, say, World 3, to get more stones of ephemeral eyes, is because I want to actually have, firstly, a stronger rapier, and secondly, a good secondary weapon like the Hiltless before I continue through the game, because there's only so much more of the game that I can play before, you know, I'll have a completed build essentially, but I'll have nothing more to do in New Game, which would leave the actual experience of doing more stuff, that would leave my scenario as it more or less being a New Game Plus build instead. So, I don't mind New Game Plus builds, but at the same time I want to experience the completed build within New Game. At least a little bit, so... Anyway, I'll do what I can here for now. We're going to use all but one of our stones and just see how far that gets us. We only have 484 souls, by the way, so... If we do, by some bizarre circumstance, lose our souls is not going to be a big deal. The reason why I say that is because in the past I have indeed actually, in the process of killing myself to bring down a world, have lost my souls, so it's mainly due to my own stupidity obviously, but yeah. Do it again. I don't know the exact number of times you have to do this, to be honest, depending on your world tendency. I would say around 6. If you were at pure white, maybe. Maybe more than that. We'll just see how close we are once we have all but one of our stones of ephemeral eyes spent. Which means that we need to do this twice more. Then we will be good to return to the Nexus and check that. And for those who are not aware, you can't actually get updated on your world tendency dropping unless you return to the Nexus. The reason being that if you're constantly dying in the same area, it's not going to immediately affect your gameplay negatively. In the sense that the further you go down the tendencies, the harder the game gets. But they don't actually implement that harder game until you've left the world and then have returned. So that's how that works. And I would say that's pretty lenient of the game. So technically the game only gets harder if you continue to die if you leave the world that you've been dying in, and generally what happens there is that maybe you'll run out of healing items or things like that. But if you're constantly dying, you probably don't even have the souls to buy healing items anyway. It's generally a pretty crushing game if you're kind of crap at the Souls series. So, that is going to be all for our suicidal activities for now. We're going to return to the Nexus, and we're going to see what our progress is looking like. Hopefully it's like one step off pure black, I can only hope. But it probably won't be. Let's see. It looks like it's one step off. But once again, I've only got one Stone of Ephemeral Eyes left, and I don't want to spend it yet, so we'll probably go through World 3-1, but I need to try and think of the actual Stone of Ephemeral Eyes locations. That's right, I can think of 2 that I can get in World 3-1, so let's just go through World 3-1 now. Then again, how long have we been recording? We'll be able to do that in 20 minutes easily. I would say so anyway. Although this boss... Let's not actually kill the boss. Let's do everything in this area shy of killing the boss. And then we'll go and do that. Because I can't parry this boss either. That's one big problem about this particular build. I really do need the Hiltless. So, or some other weapon. I don't know. So we're going to do a quick run through the Tower of Latria right now, which requires a little bit of back and forth in terms of collecting keys, but that's alright. Backstab, please. Backstab, please. Come on. Of course, Dark Souls was a big step up in terms of the backstab functionality. But anyway. Please help me. Not this time, Skivir, not this time. Then again, I generally don't help you anyway. I instead take it down to pure black and then murder your phantom. So I do have to continue down that way. It's funny, I was actually better at going through the Tower of Latria when I started this livestream series, and now I'm worse. How can that possibly make any sense? It's weird. Anyway. So we can't parry these Cthulhus, but we can backstab them. So I need to get him in a position where I can actually go for a backstab. I actually got stuck on that stupid barrel. Got to be kidding me. Gonna get out of the way of that. And I should be able to. Ridiculous. You can't actually roll through that shit because it's got a lingering effect. Lingering effect, everyone. This is what happens when you're running a parry build and you're fighting enemies that can't be parried. And the actual stuff in the area is making it hard for you to go around for a backstab. I would have been able to go around for a backstab before, but that random barrel that was not actually physically in my way was stopping me from being able to go around for that backstab, so it didn't work out so well. For the love of my ass. Seriously. Anyway. Let's go return to our bloodstain. Once again, not many souls are there, but here we go. There's a bit of a messy roll backstab, but it's still technically a roll backstab, so I'll take it. Anyway, come on. So, no drop-offs here, fortunately. There's another Cthulhu. They've got official names, but I call them Cthulhus because, I mean, look at them. Seriously. Alright, this key, good. I may as well pick the item up down here. So now we need to return to the door that was just to the right of where we pretty much spawned in the area. And then that will take us to a higher level. And then we continue from there. It's definitely a confusing place if you're not familiar with it. Fortunately, because I am familiar with it, it is not so confusing. There is a logic to it, weirdly enough. The idea is you go as far as you can in one direction, and then once you reach the end of that point, you sort of return to the last place where you saw that you couldn't open something, and then you should have the keys that you need. It's fairly straightforward in that way. But it's easier said than done. If you've never done it before, it can be quite confusing as to where you even were last time, because everything looks the same. So trying to find that place in your mind might be a little bit difficult, but yeah. So for example, we can't open that yet, so we're going to continue in this direction. And we'll go as far as we can. Now keep in mind there will be a drop-off. I mean, that's generally what teaches you whether or not something is traversable from any further point. It's whether or not there's a drop-off, and sometimes you can't actually see the drop-offs until you're pretty much on top of them, and then you're falling down, so it's a bit of a problem. Can you just stop? I need to backstab you, and there's no way I'm going to manage that if you're there like that. That didn't work out so well. There we go. Stupid octopus person. So we can't continue further down that way because there is actually a drop-off, so we just needed those keys on the wall, and then that is it. Alrighty, right. My throat hurts a little bit, even though I've been drinking water for a change on the live stream. Because the thing is, when you do talk for a while, it does sort of make your throat feel a bit weird, so yeah. I'll definitely be stopping at the 2-hour mark. And one of the reasons being that I feel like I've just spent like my whole day not really doing much, so we need to bring this Cthulhu into this more open area where I have more space to actually go for a backstab. Come over here. Do another one of those lightning things, because the benefit to this is that he will sort of run forwards, and that makes it a lot more doable to do what I just did there. Alright. So there is a vendor here, I think, who might sell stones of ephemeral eyes, but I can't buy any because I only have like 3,000 souls, so no, she doesn't sell them. That's fine.
Well,
she does sell a rapier, but we're long past the point of needing a rapier. I think that was our starting weapon for this build. And if it wasn't, then we picked one up fairly, well, a long time ago. Fairly early on is what I was going to say. Oh dear. So I don't think there's a reason to continue down there. There's nothing actually down there, so we want to go this way. And we will be able to open this. This doesn't actually require a key at all, so if you do actually open something with a key, it will tell you that you picked something up. Well, not that you picked something up. It will tell you that you opened this door using that key in question. But that doesn't really help me because I can't read all this Japanese crap, so yeah. And for those of you who need another update on that, the reason why I'm actually playing the Japanese version is just because it's something a little bit different to what I'm used to. So, yeah. Yeah, mate. So right now we're just going to get the Warden's Key, or whatever it's called. Also known as the Jailer's Key. Going to not get hit by that thing in the arse. Let's avoid that. You were probably able to hear that. Then again, I hope the game isn't too frickin' loud. It's at 19. We're going to drop that back to like 22. I think that's been too loud, personally. Because the problem is I need to actually change the volume of the game for every single game that I play. And this is a reasonably loud game, so it's better for it to be a little bit lower than what it was just then. I just hope that it wasn't actually drowning out my voice or anything like that. I've got no idea. But my actual vocal audio is reasonably loud, so it shouldn't get drowned out by the actual game volume if it's at minus 19. Should be fine. Anyway. I don't know what the hell this guy is attacking. He's getting upset, maybe he's having an argument with the other Cthulhu person, I don't know. But you could see that he was attacking something, because he was doing that big shockwave attack. Alright, do your lightning. I call it that for lack of a better term, to be honest. I can handle these guys critical only, but It's not going to work very well at all with the boss. In fact, it's going to be horrendously terrible, so I'm not going to kill this boss before I get the damn, whatever it's called, hiltless. Or at least some weapon that I can actually use effectively. It's just the reason why I'm probably not going to go dragon is because I already have 35 frickin' dexterity, so I may as well use a dexterity weapon. That was the logic behind it, but maybe I'm going to have to use a dragon weapon after all. Then again, more options might be good. So, I don't know. For those of you who are not aware, dragon weapons take away the scaling of whatever weapon you've infused it with, and then it will give you fire damage as well as that. So, that's how that works. Elemental infusions don't really exist when it comes to weapons in this game, like you can't infuse weapons with lightning either. But fire infusions are effectively... They do exist, but they're called dragon. It's not like a fire weapon, it's a dragon weapon. The idea being that, I don't know, dragons breathe fire, so yeah. How it works is that you actually use dragon stones, so... We just picked up 2 more stones of ephemeral eyes there, one on that bridge, and then we just picked up one in that weird drop down area. So now we have 3, I believe, yes. So, that's a thing. Now, I think that's pretty much everything, but we're not going to... We will manually return to the Nexus, rather than using a Shard of Archstone. At this point, I can take on the boss, so that's what's important. We're not going to take on the boss just yet. And if you need me to spell it out for you really, really explicitly, if I use this rapier against that boss, it's going to be hell. And there is a fair chance that I'll fail. I was able to use the rapier here against the Dirty Colossus because he's a really easy boss. But I would say that the Fool's Idol is not an easy boss if you're doing fuck all in terms of damage. Generally, the reason why the Fool's Idol isn't too difficult to deal with is because she doesn't have that much health overall. But if you're doing as little damage as I'm doing right now with regular pokes, that low health benefit is not going to be a benefit at all. So therefore, you are going to be punished, or I'm going to be punished during that fight if I do choose to poke away at her for however long I think I'm going to do that for. Or however long I would think that I would do that for, which wouldn't be for very long because I'd probably die in that time. There's also the fact that I really don't have the grass. There's a drop off there, but we're not going to drop down there. I just wanted to pick up this item. But if you do drop down that particular hole, you won't die. It does just drop you down to a different level, but I don't want to go down there. I'll probably end up getting lost. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'd just be over there, but whatever. Going to go down, and then we'll pretty much be at the Nexus. And I do apologise for the backtracking. It does take a while to actually get that done, but, yeah. May as well pick this up. Or Guide of Guidance. There might be some other Stones of Ephemeral Eyes here, I'm not too sure, but those are the 2 that I have in my head, so that will do for now. The singing lady was the best part of the whole game. I don't know how the hell you could actually say that, but anyway, maybe you didn't like Demon Souls very much, so listening to the sound of her singing was one of the few things that you enjoyed. But yeah, I don't really know how you could reasonably say that. She's actually really, really creepy if you look at her face. I think she's a zombie or something. Not the bloody brass telescope. You obviously don't have the best self-esteem in the world if you have a name like A Failure and Disgrace. Obviously, you didn't have enough characters to write and a disgrace. Anyway. So, I don't really think we're going to... maybe we can level up once with these souls. We have 11,027, so... The main in black is probably at the top. No, she's... I mean, is she? C. If you can't find her, go to where you last exited out of. Ooh, I don't have enough souls. Oh well. I'm going to have a few more souls on hand than I actually wanted when going ahead with... taking on World 5-2. Now, what I'm going to do... is when I do actually go through the process of actually farming for Marrowstone, I'm not going to be alive for it because my Stones of Ephemeral Eyes are especially precious at this point. So I will be using the Cling Ring, which should be fine. But yeah. I will do one trial run on camera. How are we going for time? Yeah, I'll probably do one trial run on camera in terms of the... I'm going to actually kill you normally. Alrighty, don't launch me off the edge before I've had my Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. Or before I've used it. When I say had, it's almost like I've consumed it. Like maybe as a drink or something. Can you stop? God damn it. Alright, so hopefully we only need to die once more. And that will be it. But yeah, what I was going to say before was that hopefully the Black Phantom Giant Depraved ones will not be able to track me down that that walkway too far. I don't want them to sort of ruin my plans. But I will be trying to take on Black Phantom Selen Vinland as well. Shit, that's right, she gives me the blind. She gives me the blind, I can use that as my dexterity weapon. Good idea. I'm so stupid, so basically... oh, I just had a bit of an epiphany, guys. So, I thought that I was going to get the dull gold set from killing Black Phantom Selen Vinland, but that's not true. You pick up the dull gold set elsewhere. Instead, you kill Selen Vinland to get the blind, which is a dexterity scaling weapon. So therefore, I won't actually need to go to World 4-1 and take it down to pure black, and then fight Black Phantom Satsuki. I would say probably, in terms of actual damage output, you'll be doing more damage with the Hiltless with my current dexterity. However, the blind is a really good dexterity based weapon as well, because it completely ignores shields. So it works out anyway, so we'll probably just use that, and we won't waste the Stones of Ephemeral Eyes necessary to take this down as well. That's going to be way too much for us to do. In terms of, well, it's going to require way too many bloody stones, so we're not going to do that. That looks like pure black to me. So, cool. Alright. I think we can now go ahead and equip the Cling Ring and try and get some Marrowstone. And I've got like no souls, so that's good. I didn't pick up my souls then. Oh, I did have a few. Let's go pick them up and then we'll return to the Nexus, do a test run in World 5-2, and then that'll be it for the live stream. So, oh dear. But yeah, so once again, I was intending on getting the Hiltless, but the blind will do just fine. I would prefer the Hiltless technically, but hey, I just don't really have the luxury of spending that many Stones of Ephemeral Eyes at this point in the game. So I'm going to not do that. Alrighty, so let's go to 5-2 and see how things go there. I might have to, like, if it seems that it's necessary, I will use magic to kill those mosquitoes. Like, if I can't really kill them with my rapier, then I'll use them. I'll use magic. Should be fine. Okay. I do understand that it might be a little bit annoying to have the whole ability shortage thing written there with the large sword of searching, but the thing is, it's always going to have that written unless you just happen to be doing a strength build when you also have the large sword of searching, because the actual ability of the large sword of searching, which is to give you more drop rate, that is not in any way affected by, you know what, let's just not. I don't have any freaking grass equipped. Let's maybe do that. Or at the very least use it for now. Bastard. Anyway. Oh, don't knock me off. Fuck me dead. I didn't waste any Stones of Ephemeral Eyes there, of course, and that's part of the logic as to why I didn't use one for this, but that is definitely a waste of time at the very least, which does bother me a little. I would like to be moved a bit more. No, this way. There we go. I have a bit of a green outline around me, but that's because it's gotten a little bit darker. There's less natural light. Oh, I've got a thing in the corner. There we go. That should be fine. I just messed around a little bit with my chroma key settings because parts of my head, which had the light shining on it, were basically phasing out of existence, so I did need to do a few... well, I needed to make a few changes to the chroma key, basically. Alright, this stupid depraved one. That initial strike with the spear is honestly hard to parry, because you end up needing to parry sooner than you think you need to. Like, not just in terms of what you think, but what it visually looks like as well. See how that looked like it was on time? Can you not do that? Can you actually strike me with your frickin' weapon? Thank you, for Christ's sake. I don't have the healing items for this, actually. That's one problem. One big problem, actually. I've got like no frickin' healing items. I need to go buy some. Scratch that, we're going to buy some healing items. Hey Proof, welcome back. It's been a while. We're doing Demon Souls again, and things are going pretty well. At the moment, I am pretty close to having the Windmill build, or Windmill Rapier build, completed. So, yeah, things are going pretty reasonably. So yeah, I'm going to return to the Nexus and maybe buy some grass from Patches. I will mention that you have Grave Robber Blige and Patches as two of the better grass vendors in the game, but Patches is better because he does have lower prices on his grass from memory. And then you also have the convenience of him actually being in the Nexus, so Patches is a very good vendor for this game. So I'm going to buy pretty much all Half Moon. I'm going to use all of our souls for that. I'm going to get rid of Full Moon because fuck Full Moon. It's just overkill for us at this point. Half Moon will do the job plenty. Or plenty well, plenty fine, however I want to say that. But yeah, so now we're going to do the grinding for Marrowstone. And it will be annoying trying to get the Marrowstone from the mosquitoes when they drop and maybe end up in the swamp somewhere. That's going to be frustrating for sure, but we'll see what we can do. I need 3 shards of Marrowstone to upgrade my rapier one more time. I don't know if I'll upgrade the rapier once or twice before actually continuing to another area. Maybe twice. Unfucking believable. These things are so annoying. And their fire does a lot of damage, but keep in mind it is pure black right now, so... insufferable creatures. Alright, so, it is pure black, isn't it? It looks pure black to me. But we'll be able to see based on whether or not Selen Vinland appears, and I do plan to kill Selen Vinland in this recording. Or at least attempt to. I'm going to do one attempt, and then if it fails, it fails, but... yeah, we'll have to see. It does depend on my ability to parry her. Are you saying good night as a farewell, or as a greeting? Because you haven't talked so far, so it would be strange if it were a farewell. I'm not leaving yet. But if you mean good evening, then good evening to you. I do recognise your .hack related name. It's very cool. All the feels for Atoli having to put up with Haseo all the time. But anyway, I do prefer Shino to Atoli. So yes, we do have the Black Phantom depraved one over here. So we're going to seriously avoid him. Look at this freaking graphical glitch. What a nightmare. As you can see, the giant depraved one who is the Black Phantom form is closer to the freaking walkway, so let's really, really hope he's not going to mess with us too much. He probably is going to mess with us quite a bit, so... we're just going to hope that they leash. That's not good at all. I've rolled in the wrong frickin' spot. Who would have fucking thought? And then I died right there. I mean, you know, beggars belief. Beggars belief. Anyway. So let's... I mean, that was actually the worst scenario. It wasn't so much that I got hit by that guy with the spear. That's kind of a nightmare to avoid anyway. But... actually falling down there and I couldn't even heal and... doesn't matter. We'll do it again. And I'm going to avoid this prick down here because it's a waste of my time to even try to kill him. I tried to roll through that, but then he decided to delay his thrust. Absolute dog shit. I love that you can get away with one single roll when you're in the swamp. It's pretty cool. Just it makes a big difference in terms of your ability to traverse the area. God damn it. Anyway, take 2. Well, technically take 3 if we count the last time, which ended up me needing to take on the frickin' boss because of how poorly I did. Game's going well. Well, it could be going better, but I would say in terms of what I've managed to do in this video, I've done pretty well, so I'm more or less happy with how things are going. Oh god. Black Phantom Depraved One has officially landed. He is here. And hopefully he leashes. Which is not something that I would be hoping for if I didn't have the Thief's Ring. I think I succeeded. No, I didn't. I didn't succeed in shit. The thing is, that would have looked like a whole lot of nothing to you guys. Because the camera was doing all sorts of crazy things. And to be honest, it looked like a whole lot of nothing to me as well. So therefore, I had no hope of succeeding there. Fuck this shit, man. Having a shield would be a really good thing to actually resist that bastard's fucking flaming spear. So maybe if I use my soul arrow as a ranged attacking thing to actually kill him before he can actually touch me with that stupid spear, maybe that will work in my favor really well. Terrible, terrible. Why did I do that? I'm gonna die for that. I misjudged, basically. That's alright, I didn't have any souls to really lose anyway, so... You love Demon Souls for some reason, or Dark Souls. DS can mean Demon Souls or Dark Souls. Basically, the old differentiating acronyms were DES for Demon Souls and DKS for Dark Souls. And that's DKS is used a little bit less often because there's no real need to differentiate these days because people generally don't refer to Demon Souls anyway. But when there were only 2 Souls games, yeah, people referred to Demon Souls a lot more, obviously. So, it was DKS and DES. Now people just say Dark Souls. Or DS, yeah. Demon Souls is a really great game. I think that it has a certain amount of charm to it. I think it's aged really well, aside from the poor frame rate that is. And it's, yeah, it's a good game. It's probably one of my favourite video games in general, to be honest, so, yeah. That's just how I feel about it. Now that I think about Dot Hack, I will probably be doing some live streaming of that eventually. Like, I do have Last Recode on Steam, so I'm probably going to stream a bit of that eventually, but maybe this year, maybe next year, we'll see. I know it sounds like a long way away next year, but the thing is, like, time flies a lot for me, and I really do keep myself busy very easily, so I'm going to pull out magic, and we'll see how things go. Please get the right person, thank you. That is not working for me at all. That is not working for me at all. I've fallen already. Unfucking believable. Come on, can I even get back? Oh my god. The fucking patience required is just immeasurable. Let's just go fight Selin Vinland. I'm so pissed off right now. Let's hope this cunt doesn't give us too many problems. Is that Wrath of God? Oh, it's anti-magic field, I think. So we need to succeed with this a few times. I don't know how many... Can we do a chain backstab with her? No, not really. There we go. I had some weird marker. What is that? Oh, it's no magic. Fuck. Because she did that big overhead animation, it didn't... I wasn't able to chain that very well, so... what do you do? So that's how that's going to work. Basically, every single time I fucking fall from that stupid place, which will happen every fucking time without me actually succeeding in getting any kills on those... whatever they're called. You know, the flying bastards. Mosquitoes, the giant mosquitoes. Every single time that happens, I'll just go and fight Cell in Finland, and that should be fine. So, yeah. Frickin' frustrating. But that's how that goes, I guess. I'm able to watch back my death. It's funny. In my stream preview, that is. Get away from me. Come on, don't give me delayed... You fucking invalid. Just, oh. Anyway, that's alright. Things were more or less going pretty well for the entirety of the 2.5 hours of my live stream, and then towards the end, well, not, it's more like 2 hours, not 2.5 hours, but then towards the end, that's when things start getting terrible, so that's alright. I'm fine with that. Think of it as an after party of death. Anyway. What can I do? Let's try again. That's one big thing when it comes to the Souls series. Perseverance and resilience. That's basically how you succeed. If you let the game defeat you, then that's it. Game over. But as long as you have the perseverance to just keep going, it's never really the end. So, it's good. I don't know why I'm picking that up. There's nothing of use there. Stop trying to roll, you idiot. You don't have the maneuverability necessary for that. Anyway, here we go again. The repetition of failure. But that's alright. That's how the Souls series works after all. The possum in my wall is hissing at me. Shut up. What did he just say? Don't worry. I have a creature living in my wall. And it's a bit noisy sometimes. Only sometimes, though. It's only when it wants to get territorial with something else. In my wall. Anyway. Black Phantom is after me now. And that regular guy, the regular giant depraved one, was really close there. Let's get out of here. And hope that we can actually succeed in at least getting past this guy. There we go. Alright, we've already achieved something more than what we've achieved thus far. Like, we've actually done something, guys. Let's kill you. Anything? No, nothing. Alright, let's kill you. Anyway, what can I say? I don't mind doing this in my own time, but on camera, I feel like it's a bit too repetitive for you guys. So, things are not going well at the moment. It's mainly because it's pure black. I mean, obviously the game's a lot harder in pure black, but it's necessary for me to have that increased drop rate. So pure black plus large sword of searching is really good, just generally speaking. So. Can you not be so damned delayed in your attacks? Sometimes you're not delayed at all, and then other times you super delay that attack, so it's very frustrating. I didn't roll a second time. Or didn't intend to, anyway. Freaking annoying shit. Alright, we're gonna do it one more time, and then after this I will probably call it a day. And then the next live stream will probably be a whole lot of me suffering doing this, because I don't think that I could be bothered doing this off camera. So I'm probably going to subject you guys to it. Which is kind of contrary to the logic that I was using behind not showing the crystal lizard farming anymore on camera, but hey, whatever. Ugh. Am I even going the right way? Oh, I am. I sort of lost track of where I was going for a moment. I was lost in thought. The poison does make things harder because it makes your healing less effective. And Half Moon Grass would be perfect if I didn't have the reduced efficacy, but yeah. If I don't, then as you can see, it's a bit lacking. See how I just target the wrong frickin' thing? And then I just fell anyway, whatever. Selling Vinland time. That happened pretty frickin' quick, didn't it? Alright, come on, woman. She's not the only one who casts anti-magic field, by the way. We've also got Skivir the Wanderer. Not Skivir the Wanderer, it's that was a good try. You tried, Doomlink. Good, I mean, anyway, whatever. So, that's probably it, guys. That was some phenomenal failure towards the end there. Not quite what I wanted, but whatever. Sometimes you just have to take what you get when it comes to Demon Souls, or any Souls game for that matter. Anyway, I thank you all for watching. This has been the 20th iteration of my live stream series, where I basically do random builds in Demon Souls as I see fit. Anyway, I'll catch you all when I'm next recording, and in the meantime, sit tight, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.